The first question is about Islam. Now, we're going to get a little technical here. Please pay attention to this next segment. It's important, okay? So, there are two terms that I want you to understand and I'm going to talk about right now. Islam, right? I-S-L-A-M, and Iman. I-M-A-N. How are you going to spell it? Islam and Iman. Now, I also want you to write above those two terms, Islam with a capital I. Islam with a capital I. And I'll explain why. Okay. We use the term Muslim and Mu'min very often. Muslim and Mu'min. Muslim comes from the same word of Islam. And the word Mu'min comes from the term that we just wrote down, Iman. Now, typically speaking, pay attention to this one. Typically speaking, if the terms are used together in the same context, then the word Muslim or Islam refers to the external aspects of our faith. Anything you can see. Anything you can see or physically do. That's what Islam would represent. Iman then represents what then? Internal i'tiqadat, beliefs. You can't see I believe in God. You can't see I believe in the Day of Judgment. You can't see I believe in angels. You can't see I believe in the books. Iman refers to an internal aspect. Islam refers to the external actions of that. I have a question, and there's no right or wrong answer. Which one to you is more important? Iman? She says Iman. Iman? Anyone say Islam? No? Both? Yeah, you have to balance this. You know why? You can become real San Fran Muslimi, where the inner is all that matters and I can externally be anything, but my heart believes. That's not good, right? But when you're growing, it's okay. Like when you first convert, sometimes all you got is the inner. That's it. External, I ain't even ready for none of that. So I think we all start with that inner thing inside that should eventually come out. But the other extreme is bad too. You got these people that pray, but their actions, their heart, their hatred, their jealousy, their arrogance, all the inner part is not there. Right? Yes?
Can it be the opposite? Can you start with the outside?
Yes, you can. Imam Ghazali, she said, can you start with the... Well, let me explain something. That's a great segue. So, I got your question. I got you. So, some say... So, one way to look at this is that Islam is external and Iman is internal, right? Cool? But here's the deal. If the terms are not being used in the same context, they are literally considered to mean the same thing. What do I mean by that is if I'm reading an article or a book and it says he was a Muslim but this guy was a mu'min, then they mean two different things. But when they're not used together, scholars, they say they just mean the same thing. It just means a Muslim, a mu'min, same thing. They're the same thing. So there's a phrase they say in Arabic, which is when the terms are together, they mean different things, but when the terms are not together, they mean the same thing. So are you a mu'min or a Muslim? I'm a mu'min, I'm a Muslim. I'm going to say they're the same thing. But sometimes, and in this context, because they're in one place, they mean two different things. In this context, it's one hadith, right? And it's in one conversation. He goes, well, what is Islam? He tells him, he goes, well, what is Iman? So because it's in one context, they mean two different things. But typically speaking, when you would say al-Islam, al with a big I, it means all of it. It means all of it. All of this is Islam. All of this is Islam. Now, a great scholar, Maulana Anwar Shah Kashmiri, he said that, this was so profound. He said that Islam, this is so deep. He says Islam starts, the same Islam we're talking about, Islam, Iman. Islam starts external and works its way internal, and Iman starts internal and works its way external. And that to me is so profound. It's as if one starts there, it comes here, and the other starts here and goes there. So your Iman should reach a point where it comes out and people feel that Iman. And your Islam from external you should have that external so much that it affects the internal as well. You never want to have just one or the other. We need both of them. So that's our conversation on Islam and Iman. All right, let's go forward. So he begins to ask, tell me about Islam. What is Islam? That was his question. I said this, some of you weren't here when I said it, so I'll repeat it. You're sitting in a coffee shop and a random dude, Roger, asks you, you look Muslim, what is Islam? Typical Muslim response is 5 pillars. And my own personal opinion, I do not think 5 pillars is the best place to start. I think the 6 aspects of faith is the best place to start because it truly defines what we believe. When someone asks what is a Muslim, they're not asking what you do. They're asking what you believe. That's what they actually want to know. What do you believe? What do y'all believe? They don't want to know what rituals you do. Oh, I make wudu. Okay, cool. I washed my feet today too. Like, they don't care what you do, bro. They want to know what you believe. Right? So I honestly think when someone asks you, well, what is a Muslim? That you shouldn't focus on this. You should focus on the next one. So let's go through these though. Here we have the 5 pillars. But what is so special? I know we all know the 5 pillars, but I want to go deeper into them. The first, every pillar has an external dimension and an internal dimension. So every pillar has an external reality, but then there's an inner dimension to it. So the first one, أن تشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمد رسول الله. That you testify that there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad is the servant and messenger of Allah. What is the inner dimension of this? Write this down because it's powerful. Freedom from fear and incentive-based mastery of things of this earth. So freedom from being a slave and fearing anything from this world. The phrase La ilaha illallah, it should remove from you worry and fear of anything harming you or bringing you benefit except if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills it. The inner reality is like, all right, this is how I teach it. Check this. You know there's 99 names of Allah. 99 names of Allah. There's actually more, but 99 is what's well known. La ilaha illallah is a formula. La ilaha illallah. It's a formula. There is no blank illa blank. Write this down. Write this down. There is no blank except blank. Write that down. Just write that down. It's a formula. La ilaha illallah. There is no, write a blank, except blank. Take any name of Allah. Ash-Shakur. What does Ash-Shakur mean? To appreciate something. A Shakir is someone that is grateful. Shakir. Think about our lives. How much do we want to be appreciated, recognized for something we did? Man, I paid for this house. I paid a mortgage. I paid the bills. Wifey's like, man, I raised these kids. How much of us want to be appreciated? One of the names of Allah is Shakir, Ash-Shakur. Now watch this equation. La ilaha. There is no blank except blank. Put in the name Shakir. What's the equation sound like to you? There is no one that will truly show you appreciation except Allah. Give me another name. Razaq. Razaq. Oh, Wudud. What does Wudud mean? Love. La blank illa blank. There is no one that will show you love the way Allah will show you love. It's an equation. Every name of Allah, you should realize that while you may get some of that from the world, you won't truly get it from the world, bro. You'll find a wifey, man. You'll find someone to love you, but la wududa illallah. La wududa illallah. La raziq illallah. Another name. A jabbar. One of the meanings of jabbar is the one that fixes things. A jabira is like a cast because it sets it straight. There is nothing to fix your situations like the way Allah will fix it for you. It's an equation. La ilaha illallah. It's profound. Take any name of Allah, put it in the equation, and it solves problems that you have. One of the names of Allah is Al-Muhaymin. What does that mean? Huh? Guardian, security. There is no one to protect you. ADT, nah, bruh. There is no one to protect you like Allah. La ilaha illallah. Take any name of Allah, put it in the equation, and change how you think. That's why it's so profound. La ilaha illallah is what removes and fights a lot of the inner fears and anxieties that we have in our life. But you have to learn how to take each of those names of Allah and put it into the equation. Number 2, وَتُقِيمُ الصَّلَاةِ. The prayer, we all know, we've been hearing about prayer since we were 3 years old, the importance of prayer. What is the inner reality of prayer? The inner reality of prayer is that it is the periodic break from the dunya to connect with Allah, your soul's true purpose. So to break the daily effect of being involved in dunya, the salah comes as the mi'raj. Okay, time out. The Prophet ﷺ, he called salah the mi'raj of the Muslim. Do you know what mi'raj is? It's when the Prophet went up to the 7 heavens. So the Prophet himself was taken on this journey. He saw the reality of this world, this universe. But me and you don't have that. We don't have that. So the Prophet said, no, the salah is your mi'raj. The salah, Allahu Akbar, is when you break from this world and connect your soul to its true meaning. A lot of the anxiety and the anxiousness we feel is from the soul's not being connected to its true purpose. And it needs that. Salah comes every day, breaking up the monotony of life so that you get that connection back. And just long enough, 2, 3, 4 minutes, Allahu Akbar, and then I'm back on the ground. I'm back engaging with the world. But it allowed my soul to break off, connect, remember its purpose, and then come back to the earth with a purposeful endeavor. Now I'm at work with purpose. Now I'm playing with my kids with purpose. Now I'm talking to wifey with purpose. Purpose connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So so just to make it really clear, it undoes the evil effects of the daily affairs. The daily grind. What took to zakat? Number 3. What is the purpose of zakat? Well, some of us look at it as what it does to people. What does it do to you? It protects you from this avarice, this greed. It protects you from this greed. It forces you to take from yourself and give so that you become someone who has the divine quality of giving to others. So zakat's inner dimension is to cure you and create a detachment from material things. And what we mean by detachment is that your heart isn't caught up in it. A lot of us, I know you heard this lecture before, but I have to explain it. When we say a detachment, your heart should be connected to God, but your hands should have the things on this earth. The opposite happens where our heart gets connected to that new car I got. That heart gets connected to that wealth I have. No, heart connected to Allah, hands hold the wealth. That's why they say the dunya should be in your hand, not in your heart. And the only way you know it's not in your heart is when you have to part with it. When you part with it and you can part with it, you know it wasn't in the heart. But when the parting hurts, it means it was in your heart really deep. And that heart is only supposed to be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 4, what tasuma Ramadan? What's the inner reality of Saum to y'all? What is it? What's the inner reality of fasting? Conquering desire is self-restraint. Self-restraint, guys. Self-restraint. If you learn self-restraint, you can accomplish anything you want in this dunya. And this is a secular concept as well. There's a hadith that says, Jannah is surrounded by hardship and hellfire is surrounded by ease. This is a secular concept as well. If you want to get to success, you have to be able to grind. Ramadan is about showing you your potential through self-restraint. Somehow Ramadan comes and all of it, we're like next level, yo. We're doing things that the rest of Americans are like, you literally don't, not even water. That's what they say, right? Not even water. Like how? They look at you and you're like, yeah, I'm not even like a practicing Muslim. They're like, but you're not eating food all day. You're like, yeah. And like no one's watching you. Yeah, I mean, why would I do that? You're like, subhanAllah. Self-restraint is what's being taught. The power of self-restraint. I was reading a recent article in Psychology Today, in the latest edition of Psychology Today, and the article, the main article of this edition was, you can have everything you want, you just have to be able to work for it. And the whole article was like the purpose of discomfort in our lives, how anything uncomfortable actually pushes you to something great in life. And as long as you can get comfortable with discomfort, you will achieve the most amazing things. These were secular people. They're not even talking about religion. They're not even talking about religion. The moment you can become comfortable with discomfort, you can achieve the most amazing things. And so our deen teaches that. The Prophet would fast every Monday and Thursday to teach the body restraint, to teach the body that I'm in control, you're not in control. And I think this is important because if you're able to conquer yourself with these small little hardships, so let me explain something. One of our greatest Islamic psychologists that ever wrote was Imam Zayd Balkhi. He wrote in the 3rd century Hijrah, like way long time ago. And what he said, one of the things he said is like, if you want to be able to handle the hardships that life will bring, then you should get yourself accustomed to small inconveniences. If you're able to accustom yourself to small, not crazy, guy. I'm not saying do dumb stuff. Small inconveniences, then it allows you to be prepared for harder inconveniences when they actually come. And so he was saying things like, the food isn't just the way you want it. It's a little less salty than you like it. The food is a little colder than you like it. The house temperature is a little off. It's not just perfect. He said, if you are able to get yourself comfortable with minor inconveniences, then when major inconveniences come, you don't lose everything. But if you're someone that everything has to be perfect, the moment life truly throws something at you, you break down. You lose it, tantrum like a kid in a store. Because you are so accustomed to everything being just the way it's supposed to be. So Imam Zayd Balkhi, he said, get yourself used to inconvenience, small, minor inconvenience. And you know what's funny? As we get older, the cognitive flexibility shrinks. You notice the older you get, the less you could take little small inconveniences. You know what I mean? It's happening to me. You're like, your kid's like, and you're like, yo, chill out. Like, you lose it. Everybody else is like, yo, relax. Why you losing it? Like, what's wrong? The older you get, the less you have cognitive flexibility. And so inconvenience is very hard for you to put up with. And that's why you notice when you're dealing with the old, like, if it's not exactly the way it was supposed to be, they lose it. And so one of the things to do is to get yourself used to inconvenience. This is why I love athletes. This is why I love athletes. Someone here said they're a runner. You are a runner. You like to run. I think you said, right? Like, the athlete's mentality already understands no pain, no gain. The athlete is like already thinking like this. Like, if it's easy, I don't want to do it. If it's hard, there's growth there. And so I think there's an element of fasting teaches us that where there's difficulties, there's growth. Where there's difficulty, there's growth. Yeah. Number 5, وَأَن تَحُجُّ الْبَيْتِ, that you go for Hajj. Going for Hajj is one of the most transformational things. What do you think is an inner dimension of Hajj? As American Muslims, we might not get this one as well as people from other countries. What do you think is an inner dimension of Hajj? Equality? Yeah, exactly. It removes racism. But for us, it's different. We live in such a diverse, look at this room. Like, come on, like, the room is so diverse. But typically, people were making Hajj from places where everyone looked like them. So you were coming from Senegal, you were coming from China, Uzbekistan, you were coming from Spain, you were coming from Iraq, you were coming from, Europe, you were coming from Bosnia, you were coming from Turkey. And all you saw in Turkey was white Muslims. All you saw in Senegal was black Muslims. All you saw in Uzbekistan was people who looked like you. And when you came for Hajj, you just saw this unity, like, oh my God, subhanAllah, this religion is global. The craziest thing is, as an American, when you go for Hajj and you see your doppelganger who's from like Senegal, you know what I'm trying to say? Sudan. I go there, I'm like, yo, bro, you look like my brother, bro. Like, and he's like, where are you from? You're like, America. They're like, no, for real, for real. You're like, no, for real, for real. All right? They don't understand that we don't know anywhere else except America, some of us. So when Malcolm X, Al-Hajj Malik al-Shabazz, when he went for Hajj, he said that Islam would be the solution for America's racial problem. Because when you go for that Hajj and you're sitting there with the whitest of whites and the darkest of darks and everyone side by side, foot to foot, like eating from the same plate, it's the most majestic feeling you could ever imagine. Everyone saying labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika labbaik, labbaik innal hamda. It's the most amazing feeling to see people from all around the world, right? And coming together at one place. I think that is also what makes it a little difficult for us as Muslims in America, because people are coming from different places and they only knew what they knew in their country. And it makes it a little difficult for them to come here and see something completely different, right? So these are the inner aspects of Islam. We're going to pause here and take a breather again.